kids today. So desensitized by movies and television.
Welcome to the MTG Podcast.
I'd like to have a calm discussion on this topic. You think we can manage that?
Where we discuss the latest in movies, TV, and games.
Guys, I'm bringing the party to you.
We're your hosts, Luke, Jordan, and Joe.
I see him up ahead. Let's rock and roll.
Luke, you have really nice dance moves. Hey
Getting
guys.
into it.
Yeah, it was good. Hey guys, welcome to the MTG Podcast. How are you guys doing?
What's up?
We have a guest here today, an awesome
Yes, we do. A special celebrity guest.
celebrity guest. That's right. Andrew, say hey.
Hey.
That was good.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, you
really
like
good.
And he's gone.
Nice to have you on, Andrew. We're done.
Goodbye.
All right. You guys having a good day so far? Good week?
Yeah. It's a pretty rainy day in Florida.
It's awful here in
That
Florida.
it was.
How is
the sun is the only thing in the sky here in North Carolina.
I bet it's
Wow.
paradise up there. It's awful. Like yesterday morning, I got scared to death because I woke up to like thunder crashing. I thought that the apocalypse was about to happen because I sleep like right next to the window, and like I saw a flash of light, and then my window rattled because of the loud banging of the thunder. It was horrifying. I like had a very cowardly reaction to. I woke up and there was a clear. Oh!
This is mildly disturbing.
Yes, it was pretty scary. Anyways, we're going to get right into it, and we're going to talk about what we've been watching / playing. Andrew, since you are the first one here, you want to go ahead and fill us in what you've been doing? Yeah, you can go ahead and introduce yourself. What are you about, Andrew? How do you know us?
I am here for the people because they need to know the truth about movies and television and games. There's only two of the three I have opinions about, and one of them I have zero opinions about. You can take a guess as to what that is.
Movies.
Shut up, Jordan. You know that it's games. Yeah,
All right,
but
you're gonna fill us in.
I've been watching a lot of House of Cards. I have been hearing all these awesome things about it, and then one day I decided, what the heck, I'm way too busy to start a new TV show, but I'll start one anyway. And I started House of Cards, and it's worth all the hype. I mean, have you guys watched it yet?
Luke, you've seen it, right?
Oh, have I?
Anybody?
Oh, boy.
Yes, sir. It's a very good show.
I've only
Yeah.
heard about
Are
it. I
you-
haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, if you care about politics at all, and if politics makes you angry, you should definitely watch it.
Will probably
Kevin's-
make you more angry.
Right. Kevin Spacey he's kind of like the character you're cheering for the villain, basically,
Mm-hmm.
is the idea. But it's a great show. I mean, the acting, Kevin Spacey, you can't really go wrong with his acting ever. I mean, he's on
Definitely.
point. The whole cast, it's hard to have consistency across an entire cast, but I think that House of Cards is pretty awesome. I'm a little bit late to the Spider-Man and X-Men party, but I just saw both of those within the past week for
That's
the first
awesome.
time.
It's a good week, man.
I know, I've been busy.
It is a busy week.
But I've got to say that Spider-Man was disappointing,
All right.
and
And by that you mean the Amazing Spider-Man.
I apologize. The Amazing Spider-Man in 3D.
Amazing Spider-Man 2 in 3D. It'd be funny if you're like just now talking about 2002 Spider-Man.
Seriously, can you
behind.
believe Tobey Maguire?
He was so terrible.
The nerd.
I can't imagine anyone as good as him at Spider-Man.
Graphics are a little dated, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I mean, and X-Men, I think that this is a great way for them. You guys have already talked about this, but it's a great way for them to reboot this entire franchise. What they're trying to do, I thought X-Men was probably the biggest surprise for me so far of the summer. But then again, I saw it sitting on a lawn outdoors,
Oh wow.
and there was mosquitoes involved. So for me to still hold that opinion about this movie says a lot about that movie. You know?
Absolutely.
So
Well, real quick, you said that you were disappointed in Spider-Man. A lot of people were kind of mixed on that. I personally loved it, but I'm curious to see what your problems were with it.
I think that it's a problem that I'm like having with more and more of these comic book based movies. And it's that I mean, it tried to do some new things, right? It tried to do some new things with the love story. It tried to do some new things with, the character development, with, the villain, or I don't know. They're getting a little bit too formulaic with the action. They're getting too formulaic with a lot of I don't know, the mechanics of a superhero movie are just getting so redundant. I don't know. And maybe X-Men just had more of a balance to me, but the Amazing Spider-Man 2 just seemed to have it has like humor, it has the wit, it has I don't know, it just didn't jump off the screen into my heart forever.
Yeah, I feel like a big thing with Spider-Man now these days, and you can kind of see it in 2012, a couple summers ago. Like, I feel like a lot of these superhero franchises, in a way, are upping their game. Like, X-Men is the X-Men Days of Future Past, I think, the most different and the best X-Men so far. It's like definitely a new era in X-Men movies. And you can say the same with Marvel and the way they like with Captain America and Avengers, how they've been upping their game. And we'll see with DC with what they're gonna do. But I feel like Spider-Man is in a way where it's stuck in the middle. I talked to someone the other day and they said that they thought Amazing Spider-Man 2 was the worst one, and oh man, I do not see how that's the case at all, because I think it just trumps everything that's come before it, Spider-Man wise, a lot. But
My problem with the Spider-Man movies is it's the fifth one in 12 years. And it's a reboot too. Like, yes, it has new villains, but it's not really getting, as Andrew said, it's kind of like the redundancy is just becoming. Okay, yes, you're gonna have a movie where Spider-Man's gonna look cool. He's gonna he's just gonna fling himself around.
Well, that's
He's
what
gonna
we've been
web
seeing.
sling around.
And that's
Yeah.
the thing. Like, Spider-Man needs to find a way that he can change. Every other franchise, I think, has found that with Days of Future Past and the way Marvel Studios is handling it. But I feel like Spider-Man just needs to find that, because I feel like what that movie did was great, probably the best of what we've seen from Spider-Man, in my opinion. But like, I just think it needs to find that it's like in that niche where it's kind of still. If this movie came out probably in 2005, it would be incredible and minds would be blown. But right now,
I agree with you. I think that you said it right there. I think that the best part of the new franchise, if we want to call it the new Spider-Man franchise or Amazing Spider-Man, is the fact that I like Spider-Man. You know what I mean? Like, I like Andrew Garfield, and this movie dropped the ball for me because I felt like they were just trying to do this inside joke about Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone actually dating in real life. So they tried to like milk that. And I feel like we were just like sitting there watching them actually have a relationship. And, oh, well, she's got to die because we all know Mary Jane, but nobody wanted, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, they just toyed with my emotions and my heart the whole time.
Spoiler alert.
It's not fair.
But yeah, I think that's fair. It's one of those things where there's sometimes a movie where you can enjoy it, and realize that it needs to move forward. The franchise just needs to move forward. But I understand how it's not doing it for some people. But X-Men, that's a movie. Anything else you've been watching / playing, sir?
The last thing that I've been watching / playing, I think that all of my like watching recently has all moved from network, and you guys can probably agree, it's moving from network to Netflix, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, Netflix is bringing the heat when it comes to their originals and it comes to their different things. Right now, the fall is. You guys know that I'm not crazy about crime dramas, mostly because, the only way I'll be into a crime drama is if it has a huge story and a huge arc, and it takes like a few seasons to develop, and then you finally catch that one guy you've been after for this entire time. And I think it's something that I found in the fall a little bit. It's super dark. I don't think you could
Dexter-ish.
actually. Yeah, I mean, it has some tones of Dexter, but it's like a little bit like The Killing. If anybody's watched The Killing,
I watched a little bit of it. Yeah.
yeah, it kind of more has that tone. And then there's like, I don't know, it's just, it makes me on edge. It makes me almost uncomfortable not because it's like really sick or twisted or anything, just because of the tone and the pacing of the show. It's kind of like, The Dark Knight is a movie that from beginning to end it has the same intensity, and Jordan doesn't like it. And
We talked about it on this Batman cast.
yeah. So it has that pacing where I like that pacing because I'm like, okay, let's, it makes you emotionally, takes you on a ride. And for a TV show, especially a crime drama TV show, I think that's kind of awesome because it, I don't know how many spoilers can I put out there?
Not many. Let's try to keep it spoiler free. So real quick, is this a Netflix original, The Fall?
I'm not sure if it is a Netflix original. I know that The Fall, maybe it was something I read about season 2 or season 3 maybe being produced fully by Netflix, which is something they're doing with a lot of shows that networks are dropping, but Netflix
It's a
likes, so
BBC. It's BBC.
it's BBC.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
that's a completely other thing because I feel like BBC is the one exception for me right now because Sherlock, different things BBC puts out are just amazing.
They do their TV way differently than we do it here in the States and over
Yeah.
there on BBC.
But one good point you brought up was the fact that none of us, I think, really take a night and say, "Oh, Thursday nights, like we got to watch The Fall," or
Right.
Friday nights we got to watch whatever. And I think we, like all of us, used to do that with like Lost, and I think that's kind of been lost in the last I don't know 5 years or so.
Lost.
Nice
Lost,
pun.
man. That's good.
Nice pun.
But I think none of us really want to watch live TV unless maybe it's sports. It's too easy to watch some stream show. It's hard to get into a show that when you have to schedule what night you're going to watch it, when you could just get into so many of these great shows that are coming out on, I don't know, Yahoo and Netflix.
Wow,
and-
Yahoo.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, they're all making their plays and HBO, and it's just too easy to just jump on HBO Go or Netflix and watch what we want when we want and watch as many episodes as we want.
Yeah. Awesome. Bring it on, please. Let's keep going with that. Joe, what have you
Yeah.
been watching since last playing, boy?
Well, I was traveling this past week. I was in Fort Worth and Dallas, so I haven't been able to play much or even watch, but I have watched. I watched a little bit more of Crisis season 1.
What's that?
Interesting show. It's the one where the kids get kidnapped and
That's
they're
right. You talked
you know
about this.
their parents are pretty powerful people, and there's basically blackmail, and it's definitely worth a watch. We'll see if it gets. I actually have 2 episodes left this season, and I want to see how it ends before I like kind of come down with either the hammer or the praise.
Sounds like Jordan with Once Upon a Time.
Season
Yeah,
1
well, I did
Judgment
the
Day.
same
That's
thing.
how it is.
Yeah, we give it 1 season. So,
But
I
I was being
also-
extremely gracious with Once Upon a Time. I usually don't do that.
yeah.
It's completely illogical.
Now,
I mean-
Joe does that with every show, though. Every single show, he has to give an entire season. It's like, oh, this sucks from the beginning. I gotta keep watching it.
They
Yep.
drew you in
I-
with that executive producers of Lost
Hey,
stuff.
here's the thing. There's
Every show
always a
does
reason
that.
why. Here's the reason why. There's a few shows that have become my favorite shows where I watched 3 or 4 episodes and I didn't like it, and then it took like more episodes before I was like, oh man, I like this show a lot. The Office and Lost. Lost, I'm telling you, the first 5 or 6 episodes, I was like, I'm okay. I don't really have to watch this, but I was like, you know what? I'm gonna watch an entire first season, and then I'm gonna make a judgment. And I'm glad I did,
Thank you for
because
doing
I
that,
look
Joe.
back and I liked the first 5 episodes. I just, for whatever reason, I wasn't like, hell bent on watching it.
But
So
like, isn't like kind of like a waste of time though when you can just wait for word of mouth to spread, and then you can hear, oh, it's a good show, then you can jump on it. Like, I mean, I'm glad, obviously, like it pays off sometimes, but I'm glad.
I don't know.
Yeah.
As a person, like, I think Luke's in the same situation, and I guess Andrew does have access to DVR too. But with like DVR, I mean, I don't mind watching, recording and having like my DVR filled with an entire season of a show and watching it at my leisure. I don't have a problem doing that, and it's not, 40 minutes. Even if it takes me a couple of days to watch an episode of something, it's it's not a big deal to me.
Couple days to watch one episode.
Well, no, that's what I was saying, Joe. I'm agreeing with you on that. It's just so easy now to either watch it on your DVR or to watch it on some kind of streaming service. It's hard to even see the reason why you should, tune in that night.
Correct.
I mean, I guess it doesn't make a big difference for them if it is DVR'd because they still get
they're still getting the ratings. Yeah. Well, another thing to consider, if it's a big time event or a live event or something, there are certain times where people will make an exception and they will actually they'll actually watch it live. Like for instance, we got together, well, I wasn't available, but Lost, like that you tried to watch it live, but if you missed an episode, you were always able to either record it or someone recorded it or you watched it immediately. But there's like, the finale every year was like a big deal. Like everybody got together. The Walking Dead, everyone gets together and watches it. I mean, that's kind of how a lot of people do it.
I think that's the only show like that right now on TV for people is Walking Dead.
Yeah.
And nobody else is doing that. There's not like, hey, Luke, Jordan, Joseph, come over to my house. We're having a party for the finale of CSI Miami.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Like no one does that.
This is a conversation me and Bethany actually have had because the cable company in our area, Cox Cable, increased our bill. Trying to remember, I think it was $25, and there's no real justification for it. They had told us that we'd have a year and a half or whatever at that price, and 6 months after that they raised our price, and so we've been going back and forth. We've been paying that new price now for I think 3 months, and it's like every time we have this conversation, the only thing I can end up saying is like the big reason I want to keep it is sports. And I know a lot of you guys and probably people listening don't care about sports, but for me, like I want to watch that live. I want to be able to watch my football, soccer, baseball live. But other than that, like all the shows that we're talking about now, other than The Walking Dead, that's another example because we have a few people that come over on Sunday nights, enjoy it. It's a weekly social thing that we love doing. But other than that, like I have no reason to want cable. Like I have a reason to obviously need internet, but other than that, there's no reason I should be paying $150 a month for sports and The Walking Dead. It's the system that's broken, and there needs to be some kind of solution.
Hey Luke, real quick. Sorry, Joe. We can get back to the thing, but if like ESPN came out with something like ESPN Stream, where it could like stream.
They do have that.
They do. Oh, I
Yeah.
mean, is it on?
Roku.
Is like there's some
On
app
Roku.
for it on television?
Well, yeah, but the problem is, in order to watch the events live, you have to have a
Cable
Oh,
provider
gosh.
login information.
So it's a catch.
It's a monopoly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
They don't want to offer it free. There are certain things that are
I'm
like,
not asking for it free.
yeah, I know.
Why do I have to get all those channels that I don't want?
I think it needs to be more customizable, Luke. I think that's what you're
Definitely.
getting at with like
Yeah.
TV, like you pay by the channel or
carte.
something. Yeah, exactly. It's like a buffet. That'd
That
be
would
cool.
That would be awesome.
We need to try to figure out a way to market that.
Some way of keeping the traffic on the cable lines, but not on the internet, because the internet's so clogged up at night with Netflix traffic. There's something like 70%, I think, is Netflix traffic in the U.S. between the hours of like 7 and 10. And if there was some way that they could have something where it's like, okay, I want these 10 channels, I'll pay my $50 or whatever, and then I'll have my internet, but then I can watch my ESPN, I can watch Walking Dead, whatever it is that I want to watch, and then the rest of it I'll do online. But I'll still pay the cable company, what I want. I just won't be receiving all that and putting as much traffic on their network.
Yeah.
Joe,
Definitely
What
agree.
you watching? What you playing, Joe?
Just a couple more movies. Elysium. I was watching that the other night. Um, I first time I saw it, I really liked it, and I really like it now too. So,
I haven't seen it yet.
you haven't seen it?
Nope.
That would be a good
Well, you
one
probably
for
need
the
to put.
list.
All
Yeah,
right.
it's
Sure.
it's
Let's
a
add
very,
it.
in
Have
my
you seen it, Luke?
opinion, it's one of my best or favorite new original sci-fi kind of movies because it actually kind of is has a lot of originality in it, and I kind of like sci-fi genre, so I like it a lot. Matt Damon's not bad. I kind of like Matt Damon, so
Matt Damon.
yeah. And then Casino Royale. I'd seen half of it about 2 years ago and never finished it, and I actually finished it this year. And this is actually it's off the play Casino Royale. This is the first quote unquote Bond movie that they ever made back in the '60s. It's got Peter Sellers in it and Dave Naveen. It's actually a comedy,
Oh my
and
god.
it is it's pretty outlandish and
Austin
ridiculous.
Is it like
What?
Austin
Yeah.
Powers?
Well, here's the kind of the interesting thing about it. Like when you watch movies that are that old, you realize that there's not one original bone in Hollywood.
Oh, come on.
Like Austin Powers, pretty much all those movies, all three of them are from this one movie. No joke, And I mean, and to be honest with you, because Casino Royale was a lot cleaner, of course, but it's fairly funny. It's cheesy and it's got like some kind of ridiculous effects in it because it's from the '60s. But it's a funny movie. Luke and I are, and we're pretty big Peter Sellers fans.
It's got to be good if he's in it.
Yeah, well, it's pretty ridiculous. He actually is James Bond in it, so it's just outrageous.
That's
So
amazing.
yeah, I would
I'll have
say
to see it.
try to find it. I kind of I like some of those older movies because I get nostalgic watching them.
How
So,
did you watch it?
I just taped it. It was on I think I have like Showtime free for a
You
certain
taped
amount of
it
months
with
or something.
you taped it with your VCR.
I recorded it with my DVR. Thank you. And then, of course, I know we'll talk about it at another point, but I've also seen the new Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. So I will share my feelings about that movie later.
Oh, yes.
But who wants to go first? Luke, Jordan? What have you been watching?
You go ahead, Luke.
I really thought I'd been playing more than what ended up on the list, but Jordan had mentioned last week that he had played one of the games that PS3, I guess, had done for July on the PS Network for free. One of the games with, was it PS Plus?
Yeah,
PlayStation Plus. And so I actually thought about it when he said that. I was like, you know what? I should probably download that very strange game that I saw on the Xbox Live called Guacamelee Super Turbo Championship Edition.
That's a name.
And so I did, and I ended up playing for probably 3 hours.
Oh, my.
I downloaded it with the intention of playing it and then realizing it was retarded and stopping playing it. But it's kind of interesting. It's like a throwback. It's complete side-scroller. There's literally 2 buttons that you press in the whole game. It's definitely an indie game with some studio I've never heard of, which I think is kind of neat because I've been seeing more of these popping up. I think I've seen more of them popping up on the PlayStation and the Xbox. And I like that, giving the small guys a chance to make games. And it's a game about a Mexican. I can't remember the name of them, but
Luchadors, right?
There you go. Well, he's a normal guy, and then he ends up dying and gets some magic power where he becomes a special luchador. But it's pretty interesting. If you have Xbox One, you should download it and play it. It gets really hard. I'm at a part right now that I don't even want to play it again because it gets so difficult. It's kind of amazing accomplishment when you only have 2 buttons to press. But
Yeah.
pretty interesting game. And Jordan had asked me to start watching The Leftovers on HBO. And so I finally finished the first episode after watching the first 20 minutes and getting busy. And so I got back to it. And so I've now watched the full first episode of Leftovers. And I need to watch the second episode. And I'm interested. I'm not completely hooked on it yet, but I'm interested. Probably give, like Joe, I don't know if I'll give it a full season, but at least a few episodes. Don't want to give up on it too quick. So yeah, I'm interested to see where that goes. And of course, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, as we'll talk about more. And Jordan.
Is Leftovers on the third episode?
Third episode, yeah. Third episode was on Sunday.
Yeah, it just started.
Okay. I have 3 on my DVR. I'm gonna need to probably watch one of them soon.
Yeah.
They're long episodes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they're just like HBO Go stuff or HBO stuff. It's just a full hour, no commercials. All right. So I picked up a new game for the PlayStation 4 called Killzone Shadowfall. It's like,
they were sold out at Best Buy.
I know, that's such a good deal. And like it was $19.99 this weekend, and I felt really good about it, which is nice because when deals come out for stuff and it's like, wow, I'm getting a really good deal. This is $19.99, and then like the weeks go by and it's still $19.99, and then it goes down to $10. You're like, okay, I'm just whatever. But this didn't happen this time. It actually was $19.99 for like a couple days, and then it went back up to $40. So it was actually a great deal. So I feel really good about that.
Yeah, they were sold out, and I couldn't get it.
Sorry, Joe. Snooze, you lose, buddy.
Sucks to suck.
It does. But it's great. Great value for $20. I would never my entire life spend $60 on that game. But for what it was awesome. Definitely worth $20. Worth $40, I would say, actually. I mean, it's a first-person shooter set in a sci-fi world. I'm not going to go too much into it. It's kind of just a sci-fi story, really, when you look at it. But really, that's the one thing I do like about it a lot. It's a story. It's a story game. It's not just a shooter for the sake of a shooter. And that's not really the kind of game that I like. I like games that kind of take you on a cinematic story, and this does that. And it's a fun game, beautiful to look at. But it's kind of old, so I'm not going to go too much into it.
I'm surprised to see you playing first person.
Me too, man. Put them on sale for $20, and maybe I'll play them.
He's maturing, Luke. He's maturing.
Yeah, right. I mean, it's a sci-fi
Opening
game.
his
It's different.
mind.
It's kind of like
it's
as close
different
as Halo.
and it's a sci-fi game. Unbelievable.
It's different. It's like the only part of Halo that I can get because I don't have an Xbox.
It's a good thing, Jordan. I'm complimenting you.
Thank you.
Way to go.
I too been watching Leftovers. I'm on the second episode, and people talk about Damon Lindelof a lot. Like he's one of the head writers of the show. He was one of the head writers of Lost, and he writes a lot of movies also now. Like he was a big writer in Prometheus, but a lot of people are split on him because they have like this whole thing because of Lost, which I disagree with him with these people when it comes to Lost, that he likes to leave questions open and he doesn't answer anything, which I argue with people when it comes to Lost. But in this show, I'm starting to get a little frustrated because like first episode, they set up a lot. There's a lot of stuff, a lot of questions set up. And in the second episode, with Lost, I felt like when, they'd answer a question, another question would pop up. But with this show, I feel like it's the same questions. We're not getting that further in answering the same questions. And so with Lost, it would excite me. And I'd be, even more and more intrigued as the series went on. But now I'm starting to waver a little bit. I'm gonna stick with it. I don't know if I'm not like feeling it like Luke. I mean, I'm not gonna give it the full season, but I'll definitely give it like a few more episodes. That first episode definitely earned that.
Well, it doesn't have that many episodes in the first season.
Well, how much is it gonna have? Like 10 or how many? Like
I think
HBO.
I heard 10. I think I heard between 8 and
That's
12.
pretty normal.
Yeah, HBO plays them pretty short.
Because they're longer episodes.
Yeah, which I like. It's not as awful of a commitment as it is to like watch something on network when usually those shows run for like 22, 23 episodes a season. So it's nice.
Yeah, that's where, I'm an idiot and I probably let it go too far. Yeah, it's 10 episodes. The last episode airs on August 31st.
See, that's short and sweet. Like not many breaks either. It's nice.
Yeah.
Lastly, I watched a movie on HBO Go. I figured I should see it, but Now You See Me. It came out last year in theaters about a group of young magicians. It's like Woody Harrelson and Jesse Eisenberg, a lot of stars, Morgan Freeman and Michael Caine.
Mark Ruffalo.
Mark Ruffalo, yeah, and the chick from Wedding Crashers. So it was a funny experience going on with this movie. I'm not going to spoil anything, but like, it had me in the first 30 minutes. I was like, all right, this could be really good. And after those 30 minutes were up, I was like, all right, I know what I'm getting myself into. Dumb fun. All right, let's do this. And, I was kind of along for the ride because it was kind of a fun movie. But as the end drew closer, like the frown started to settle on my face, and I was just like, oh boy. The ending was just ridiculous. It's one of those movies that like sets you up for a twist. The twist is coming. But like there's certain movies now when they try to pull off a twist, they want everyone to be surprised. And so in order to get that surprise, they don't do anything that makes any sort of sense. They just reveal something that no one could have possibly ever seen coming because it's the most ridiculous. The good twists are the ones that someone could possibly see coming. The ones where you watch it over again and you're like, oh, okay, that's where you see the breadcrumbs. But in this one,
they
just
artfully set it up, you mean?
Yeah, exactly. Artfully set it up. Whereas in this, I feel like they just wrote themselves into a corner and they're like, this is the twist. But no, didn't like it. It just spoiled the entire movie for me, which I was kind of having fun at parts, but yeah, don't recommend that.
You don't recommend that movie?
Nah.
Okay, so you're saying that 90% of it was good, but the ending was what ruined it for you.
Okay, it wasn't exactly the very ending that ruined it for me. I would say it was the last 25%. Like, say the first 25%, what I thought was pretty good, and then 50% of it was, oh, all right, this is just dumb, fun, mediocre stuff. And then the last 25% of it is bad, like really bad. And so that leaves me to say, no, you shouldn't see it for that like enjoyment you'll get out of the first 20 minutes and maybe out of that 50%. So
why was it such like it was like a pretty, hit. It was a pretty big hit when it came out for whatever reason. It was like they called it like the surprise, like the dark horse. It was like the surprise movie of the summer and stuff like that. The trailer?
The trailer say that?
No, like the actual it scored like what did it score? It was like a 7.3 or something, or it didn't have like a terrible rating.
I don't know.
It made decent.
My rating isn't good.
I've actually seen this movie.
Oh yeah, what
Just
did you
to pipe
think?
in.
I saw it too.
I was trying to think back. Yeah, I mean it was all right to me. It was just another one of those pop culture movies. Everybody's gonna like it. Take the whole family. It's a fun ride, but I don't know. It's kind of cookie cutter in my opinion.
I think it was a movie that I wouldn't say don't see, but go in expecting it to be made by the same people that made Inception, trying to repeat magic and failing miserably.
With not nearly as good of a cast.
100%. I mean, if you put Leonardo DiCaprio in that movie, it still doesn't save it. So that says a lot.
Yeah, I mean, thinking back, I'm sorry, Joe, but the chemistry just didn't work that well with the characters either.
Yeah, the lack
Nothing
thereof.
like Inception.
I'm gonna go ahead. I don't care when it comes to this movie. The end, well, I'm not saying the very end, but there is a love interest in this movie. It came from nowhere. I've never seen it so comically done in my entire life. I was watching it with someone and I looked over at this person and we just tilted our heads and we're like cocked our heads back. We're like, what? Because they kiss out of nowhere. The whole movie, no chemistry. They're antagonistic throughout the entire movie. They never come to a place where they have any sort of chemistry. And then all of a sudden they kiss. It's just
You're
like
a woman and I'm a man.
Exactly. It's like something a child would like.
Magic. Jordan, that's called magic.
I missed it. I mean, that's the thing. That's the thing, Andrew. They said the whole thing, oh, if you can't see it, you're looking too closely. I guess I was just looking too closely at this movie and I was meant to see it from a distance because yikes.
It's part of the trick. Well, it definitely tricked America / everyone in the world because it made like almost $360 million. So
to be honest, I don't think that's hard to do. I think the people that don't try to make a movie that's profound and makes you think are succeeding, and the people who aren't are just
Transformers.
But see, but you would be shocked though at how many movies like are great that don't even come up, like don't even make that. Like
what do you mean? Don't make what? Money?
Don't make that kind of money in the box office.
For sure. I'd say most
like guess what?
really good movies don't make much
currently,
money.
currently Edge of Tomorrow has made the same amount in the box office as Now You See Me. And I would say Edge of Tomorrow is like head and shoulders above that.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely. All right, now speaking of, let's go ahead and move into our movie news.
Movie news. Dun,
Movie
dun,
news.
dun.
Oh.
When are you
All
going to
right.
make those intros?
So speaking of Now You See Me, one of the producers of that movie is a man named by the name of Roberto Orsi, or Robert Orsi, however you want to say it. But his career is at a point where a lot of people are looking at it now because for the past like maybe decade, he's been doing a lot of blockbusters. Like he's been a producer, he's been a writer, and of like movies that are like kind of mixed. Like some people are like, oh, love that movie. Some people are like, oh, hate that movie. He's the writer and producer of Transformers, Amazing Spider-Man 2, Star Trek Into Darkness, stuff like that. And some people, some of those movies people love, some of them they hate. And he was obviously a producer of one I hated. Well, I don't know about hated, but anyways, Now You See Me, not good. But so he at this point has announced that he is leaving the Spider-Man franchise, which he was actually supposed to be out on the long haul to be doing Spider-Man 3, and he was basically like, nope, not anymore. And a lot of people are saying that's because he's moving over to direct Star Trek 3, which has been the rumor for the longest time. So he's like has his hands in some big franchises now, and that's pretty crazy. Someone who's kind of more behind the scenes, it's like he's stepping up. This is his first directorial movie. He hasn't directed a movie before, and now he's doing Star Trek 3. That's one heck of a movie to start with,
I don't know. He has produced a lot of movies, like and TV shows, Hercules and Xena, and
Yeah, that's
Fringe.
where he like started, right?
Pretty
Yeah,
much the same.
pretty much the same. Star Trek, Fringe.
I think the reason that he's not doing Spider-Man, can I be honest with you? I think he's just too busy, and he feels like Spider-Man is not going in the right direction.
Yeah, maybe that could
So
be
he's
it.
jumped over to he's got, I think it's like, if I recall, I've heard, because I've been watching some of the TV news conference or whatever, not watching but following. I mean, he's got like 3 new TV shows that he's like executive producing, 3 or 4, and he's got a Van Helsing movie, Power Rangers, a new Mummy movie. He's got like all these other projects that he's working on,
Yeah, I mean,
and
like, he's
Star Trek 3.
like his guy's obviously like surrounded by big money projects, like nothing that's very small scale for the
No.
most part. I mean, there may be some TV stuff, but like all these
Yeah, but
are,
TV nowadays is big budget, man. Like,
Yeah, totally.
At $2 million an episode, 20 episodes, I mean, you're spending like 40 to 50 million dollars just for that's like basic. Like these ones he's doing are like on CBS and Fox. I mean, those are big bucks,
Yeah, and one of the bigger news, another big news with him, he's also Power Rangers movie has actually found some of the creative work, and he's going to be the executive producer of that film, which is it's pretty surreal just to like think that a Power Ranger movie has the same producer of the guy who's done Star Trek. It's just like, wow, that's crazy. And also the 2 writers have hopped on, Ashley Miller and Zach Stintz, who are the writers of X-Men First Class. And so, like, geez, on a Power Rangers movie, it's pretty crazy. I was expecting them to be like, all right, this is your first time doing anything, just go ahead and direct it. But no, they're actually putting some money into this. It's
Directed by
That's-
Zach Galifianakis.
exactly.
Oh, jeez.
Let's give him a try. How about you?
Maybe, you never know.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty interesting. There's been some Marvel news,
Of course,
of course.
I feel like I think there's going to be a teaser in 2 weeks
Yes,
during Guardians of the Galaxy.
I think so.
I can
too.
almost guarantee. I want. Can I throw out something that bold, like a guarantee?
Yeah, some cash money on that.
Yeah, give me
I'll
some
put
more.
$1 on it because I don't have much.
Ugh.
No.
We were actually talking about that the other day because like this is the last Marvel movie before Age of Ultron, and so like what they did after Captain America, which was the last movie before Avengers, they actually slapped a teaser at the end, which made a little more sense then because it was a lot more connected to the Avengers movie than presumably Guardians of the Galaxy is going to be, but we'll see. I mean,
we will see.
Yeah, I mean, usually like Comic-Con's coming up next week, and we're not gonna see a trailer. The people who are there are gonna see a trailer, but we're not gonna see a trailer unless we're going to Comic-Con. That's kind of the unfortunate difference between E3 and Comic-Con. Like, we might as well
Yeah,
not
but how
go
much
to...
of a trailer at this point? I mean, what how much of a trailer would they have done? What's already been produced? You know, I don't think it's as far along as we maybe hope it is. Or do you think it is?
There's no telling. I mean, they've been working on it for several months, and like honestly, that's really all it would take to throw together a trailer that's like 30 seconds. But
Yeah.
who knows?
Well, I guess maybe I would refer to it as a teaser. I call a trailers like 2 minutes, 1 minute 30 seconds to 2 minutes, and
Yeah.
a teaser like anything under 30 seconds that basically is just like one graphic. You know.
Mhm. Well, hey, Stan Lee's done filming his cameo in that
Yeah.
movie, so hey, they must not be too far along.
That'll be the
He said-
teaser.
He
That's
loves.
because he's 91 years old. The man doesn't. What if he like? They've got to get as many cameos filmed. They're probably filming them for the next 4 movies.
That's a smart idea. They should really do that.
Did anybody read the article? They interviewed him and talked about DC Comics. Has anybody read that article?
I read a
No.
little bit about it. It's kind of...
Oh, okay. It's hilarious. They were asking him what advice he would give to DC. And he said this: I'm willing to do a cameo for you. So he was basically saying that he's the reason that the movies make all the money. So hire me. I'll do a cameo with Superman and Batman.
I doubt he thought much about his response.
No,
he
but I think
really
it's-
does.
He's getting to that age.
Stan Lee is great. I mean, like, he's kind of has like that child at heart kind of thing. And when he kicks the bucket, I will probably cry that day. He's awesome.
I thought you were about to say that you were going to kick the bucket when he kicks the bucket.
Hey, tomorrow is not...
Oh my
I'm gonna
gosh!
do myself
Will they
in.
do like a CGI Stan Lee in the movies?
No!
They better start scanning him now.
Oh my gosh. That's sad. I don't like talking about this.
It's pretty cool though. It's cool that, and I guess he filmed it. Well, he teased that he was filming it with Chris Hemsworth, and he said he loves working with Chris Hemsworth and stuff like that. So, who
Does
knows
he have
what's
a Twitter that you follow, Joseph? Like, how do you
Yeah.
know this?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I
Seriously?
saw it in the article that they posted about this. He tweeted from the set, like they have the little tweet on there. So I just searched him on Twitter and read a couple of his tweets or whatever. You can almost
Wow.
find anything nowadays pretty easily.
Nothing's safe.
Nope.
We saw the Entertainment Weekly cover dropped today, actually. So I mean, hey, they're doing some production shoots and some promotion stuff. So
Yeah. And
That's
the
pretty
spread in
cool.
it is pretty some shots. I mean, of the cast acting. It gets you excited. The cover looks good. I mean, it looks pretty cool.
yeah, we saw Ultron for the first time. What did you guys think?
It looks bad to the bone.
Yeah, scary.
Yeah.
Straight up bad to the bone.
Yeah, for sure. How are you feeling? How are you feeling on that movie, Andrew? Are you excited for another Avengers?
Oh man.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, I say it with this tone, but I'm 100% excited, but I'm kind of, I don't know. I'm getting tired. I think they really need to, I think this next Avengers movie needs to do some crazy things. I mean, it's just getting it's still too redundant. I mean, it's just the same thing over and over. Okay, there's this new villain that we will never be able to defeat. Okay, well, we have to band together. But if we live together, then we'll die alone. This is the same thing every single time.
Have you seen Cap 2 yet?
Yes, I've seen Captain America 2. Surprisingly, way better than the first one. And I know I didn't not like the first one. I thought that the second one was way better. Hopefully Avengers 2 takes a page out of that playbook and does something, I don't know, I feel like the characters are all like quasi-developed in their own worlds, and then when they all come together, the movie just becomes this, everybody has one-liners, everybody has their 30-second window, and there's no, they're just coming together for the All-Star game, but they've all been playing their seasons outside. Does that make sense?
Yeah. they all develop a lot more within their own story, their own movie. And like that, the Avengers is when the stakes are raised. I feel like after the first Avengers, the stakes for all the other stories were raised, and so they can kind of continue from there. It's like the game changer that happens. Yeah, I mean, like seeing what they did with Captain America gives me a lot of faith moving forward with the Marvel Studios, because it seems to me like they are making one type of movie first and a superhero movie second. So like, because like Captain America 2 was almost like a spy thriller espionage movie first and a superhero movie second. And like, I'm interested to see Guardians of the Galaxy. That's like completely crazy. It's like a space opera, like in the same tone of Star Wars first. And I don't know, superhero story at all, but we'll see. I mean, I feel like they're getting ballsy with like Ant-Man. It seems like it's like a comedy first and a superhero second almost. And with Doctor Strange coming up, since they have all these horror guys around it, it seems like they're going for a horror tone. So it's like I feel like they're really choosing their tones to try to fight the redundancy, because I feel like there are some smart people behind the scenes there who kind of know that maybe America is feeling a little superhero fatigue and that it's time to switch things up. And I hope DC does the same. I mean, they did with the Dark Knight trilogy.
I think that they're about to. I mean, I think DC is, to me, refreshing right now, just because it's taking, Marvel's obviously going in the more funny, like that direction where it's more like, oh, we're going for a good time movie. We're not going for, where, I mean, DC is still giving us a good time movie, but at the same time, it has more.
It's grittier.
It's grittier, it's darker, it has more, I don't know, it has more like, okay, I'll put it this way. Let me rephrase. If a superhero movie was ever going to win an Academy Award, it would be coming out of DC. It would not be coming out of Marvel.
Most likely. Like, that's how it kind of needs to be. Like, even in the comic, DC is the one that's kind of darker. DC should have that darker feel, even though some of the superheroes, arguably like Shazam, might be more outlandish. But like, and also like with the tone that Marvel set with their movies, DC still needs to be that darker tone, just so they won't again be redundant. Green Lantern tried to be Marvel. That's what Green Lantern tried to do, and it just didn't come out as genuine. It just came out as white noise, and the country didn't buy it. So even though like some people might complain about brooding superheroes, they need that side of things just so it's different than Marvel, and that's what it needs.
I think it's a refreshing mix, though. Like I hope DC continues to make movies like The Dark Knight. I hope the Superman versus Batman like continues in that same style. I mean, I'm a little worried, but I mean that's my hope. I hope shows like Arrow and shows like The Flash will continue in that same tone and same style that Nolan has set for us. I think it's a good mix between like the Avengers, what you guys were saying. It's obviously a more mainstream style, more mainstream way of shooting movies, but I think Marvel does it correctly. Whereas I think a lot of studios come out with these cookie cutter movies like Now You See Me, and it's used, and we've just seen it over and over again. So I hope that the mix continues. I think for superhero fans like us, we enjoy that, going from dark to more lighthearted Marvel Iron Man movies. Yeah.
Let me be clear. Like when I talk about like when I agree in saying that like DC is gonna be the one to ever win an Oscar if a super movie's ever gonna get an Oscar, I'm not saying that dark and gritty is better than fun and entertaining. Those are just two different types of movies. I'm just saying that mix needs to happen. They can be the same quality of movie and have a fun, entertaining, funny kind of movie, and have a dark and serious, and like very emotional movie. Like that's doesn't mean it's better in my book. It just means it's different. And yeah, nothing funny is ever gonna win an Oscar. That's not true. Anyways, moving on. Do you want to guys do some trailer talk?
Yeah,
yes.
Trailer talk. Has everyone seen these two trailers or not yet?
I haven't seen either. I typed in Big Hero 6 because I found out today that a new trailer's dropped. And yeah, so
I've seen Unbroken, and it gave me goosebumps.
Is
Just
this
throwing that
a
out there.
new Big Hero 6?
Yeah, it's
It's a trailer.
It's a full trailer, not a teaser.
It's like 2 minutes.
And
It's
so,
gonna be
Definitely seeing
probably
on
pretty
Broken.
cool.
So the first one we'll watch is Big Hero 6. So everyone at home who's watching and playing along, go ahead and watch the trailer right now. And we're back. What'd you guys think?
I liked it.
I don't know. I don't even know what to think. Like, I think that's
Did
how.
you guys see behind the cop on that wall?
What?
There were Prince Hans from Frozen was on a wanted poster behind the police officer. I think it was. You have to watch it again because I'm pretty sure I saw him.
So fun. So I don't know anything about the comic Big Hero 6. Do any of you guys know anything about it? The only thing I
Nope.
know is what confuses me more, because it's like a team up comic, right? It's like a hero team up thing.
Yeah.
And so, like, I know that Baymax and the other kid are like a part of it, but there's like a bunch of other people. So I don't know if it's something that they're withholding from the trailer, or I don't know. Here's the thing.
I don't
that
know,
I'm
but here's
noticing.
one thing that I
Sorry,
do
go ahead.
know.
Mhm.
I've highly enjoyed Wreck-It Ralph and Frozen. So and Disney Animation Studios has been doing a fantastic job in the last 3 years. I'm really excited for it. I'm not gonna lie, and it looks pretty funny. There's a lot of like little funny parts. It's definitely a movie that I can't wait to take my little nephews to.
Why don't you have some babies and take some babies
Oh
to the
my
movie,
goodness.
Joseph?
Yeah.
I have a feeling this is not going to be a popular opinion, but honestly, I have not liked what Disney's been doing lately. I did. Oh, Joe, shut up. I did enjoy Wreck-It Ralph. I did not enjoy Frozen. I did not think it was that good of a movie. I know everybody loves it, but that's just my opinion. But I am excited by this. This looks fun to me. For me, Disney, like, I really like the old Disney movies, but just lately I just haven't gotten that excited about what I've been seeing come out of Disney. That's just my opinion. But Big Hero, I think it looks like fun.
It kind of looks like they're trying to run the gamut of like genres. I mean, it kind of like seems like they're going for the princess vibes, going from Tangled, Wreck-It Ralph, Frozen, Big Hero 6. So I think that's a nice thing to do, to kind of mix it up to where it's not all princess stuff, which is
Brave.
cool. That's Pixar though. But they have me on Goodwill. I mean, to me, the trailer didn't entice me too much. But to be honest, the trailer for Frozen didn't entice me too much, and I really enjoyed that. But we'll see. Andrew, what'd you think of the trailer?
I think I agree with Luke, and I also know that's not a popular opinion. Can I sit through like current Disney movies and enjoy them? Yes. But one of the great things about old Disney movies is they weren't necessarily bottom shelf entertainment. And I don't mean that in like a stab at kids or a stab at anything, because I once upon a time was a kid and I would have enjoyed these movies more. But the thing about old Disney was I could be a 30-year-old watching the Disney movie and it would put a smile on my face. I wouldn't be sitting there the entire time thinking it was dumb. And I don't know. I just maybe this will be different. I don't know. I thought Frozen, I didn't really feel. I felt like that was a little bit empty. Wreck-It Ralph. The only thing I liked about it were bizarre video game references, and I just really. I fear for the animated studios of Disney that they're going to go too low on the shelf, and that they're giving up the awesome things about Disney animation, which were the Toy Stories, which were the older, like, hand-drawn stuff. I mean, I don't know. Not a fan.
It's a different generation for sure. I mean, like, I personally did really enjoy Frozen, but I can see how a lot of people I know really don't like it. But because there's something different about it. And I feel like there was a kind of a, when it comes to the older Disney, kind of like that 90s renaissance that happened, I felt like there was a team that worked on a lot of those movies, like, and it's kind of like what they're trying to do now. It's like, obviously it opened up from the team who brought you Frozen and Wreck-It Ralph. I'm curious to know how much of that team is back, but I don't know. I mean, I hope it's not just kind of more of the same. I mean, that Wreck-It Ralph is quite different from Frozen, but I don't know. We'll see. Anything like I love Disney. I'll give them a chance. I'll always
100%.
usually give it a chance. All right. So next trailer, Joe. What you got here? What is this?
Unbroken. It's
Unbroken.
a movie that's directed by Angelina Jolie. And I watched. I saw it actually for the first time during Dawn of the Planet of the Apes.
Ooh, that's right. We did see
And I got
this.
and I got kind of. I honestly got goosebumps. I kind of like was really excited about it. So
I did too.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's go watch
Christmas movie.
it. Christmas
Yes.
movie.
Coming Christmas.
Christmas
All right.
Day
Everybody
All right.
watch it now.
now.
Very emotional trailer.
Yes.
What do you guys think of it?
Whew. Awards, maybe? I don't know.
Yeah. I think it could be that. I think it's late. It's it's going to be released kind of late though for awards, or maybe just in time.
It's just in time.
Just
in time.
I think it looks like an excellent movie to be coming out on Christmas.
Yeah.
I think it's a good movie for the family to watch.
Yeah, it looks great. I mean, yeah, I agree. I had goosebumps watching it too, and I think could be a great opportunity for Angelina Jolie if she knocks it out of the park. I mean, I think she has a lot more chops than a lot of people give her credit for. Have you guys seen Changeling?
Yep.
Yeah, I saw it. It's pretty
No,
good.
I have not.
Great performance by her. Really good.
What's interesting about this one is it's the Coen brothers wrote it.
Wow,
And
that's
then
quite a
she
team up,
directed
right?
it. Yeah.
Coen Brothers. For a while I actually had a lot of problems with the Coen Brothers. I think I just needed to grow up more critically, but now I'm a huge fan of their work. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna be watching that come this Christmas. It looks pretty.
And it
great.
has doesn't it have your boy in it from Tron?
What?
Your boy.
Isn't that the main guy? Something? Maybe it's not.
Jack O'Connell?
Yeah.
No, he's not from Tron.
Okay.
Oh, so what are you
He's
talking
from
about?
Rise of an Empire 300.
Oh, good grief. Whatever. Hold on. Who is it? Who
Maybe
is
I'm
it?
just confused.
Yeah,
That's
maybe.
probably it.
He
Oh.
has the guy who stars in About Time, which was one of those movies that surprised me and I really enjoyed. His name is Domhnall Gleeson.
Bill Weasley.
Yeah, that movie About
Harry Potter.
Time. About Time was an amazing movie that
Oh,
everyone should see.
I'm glad you liked it too.
I need
Yeah,
to
it's
see it.
amazing.
Yeah.
It like Joseph, you'll there's a part in there that will just hit you in the soul.
Yeah.
It
I haven't seen it. Should I watch it?
I would lump that in the category of like, at least top 20 movies. To me, it's a great
Especially
movie.
romantic movies. It's
Yeah.
up there.
For sure.
It surprised me. We saw it. We got like one of those free Regal passes,
Nice.
and so we just saw it just on a whim. We drove down to Ocala, got to see it in the big theater, and oh man, I loved it.
Yeah, it's like if you took 500 Days of Summer but made it a way better movie. Okay, maybe not way better. I mean, it's just like an amazing story. I don't know. Well done.
It's an original. It's an original story, romantic story, and it's amazing. Like I'm looking at the Metascore, it only got a 55. I don't understand that, but
Yeah, I trust like a lot of times like with the people you're around, you'll start to have like similar opinions, not always obviously as we've seen in this podcast, same opinions, but I'm actually right now looking up to see if there's a good sale on it right now so I can check it out cuz yeah, I'll definitely check this one out.
yeah.
All right, Joe, do you want to go ahead and head this one up for our television news? We got a big list for us here.
Well, I mean, it's just a part of the list. A lot of the main networks. We were talking about networks and not watching stuff, but about this time,
All this
about this
stuff
time
that you're about
every-
to mention that we're not going to watch because it's on networks.
Well, I mean, like wait and delayed watching and stuff like that. And about this time every year they release Fox, ABC, NBC, all the different stations release their movies or whatever from the or not the movies shows for the fall, and even they're doing this more and more because of the high budgets that they're having or the money they're having to spend. They're actually splitting shows. They're like only doing half seasons. Like for instance, the Shield show, Marvel's Agents of Shield, is actually get on hiatus this fall and it won't air until spring because they're releasing a new Marvel show on ABC called Marvel's Agent Carter, which here's the cool thing about it. Okay, I like time sensitive or era pieces, so it's going to be based in like the 40s and 50s, and to me, that time is usually pretty cool. And if they do a good job, I mean, I feel like it could be really cool, like to see all the cars from the 50s and, you know, all the guns. It could be cool. However, I'm excited to maybe see some of the history of Agent Carter, but I don't know. I think it's maybe a stretch. I do understand that they're doing it probably for a reason, but what do you guys think of Agent Carter getting her own show?
I mean, I'm always weary when like something like Gotham happens, where like it's based on a character who's very as much a side character, gets its own show. But I'm also, you know, gonna wait and see. Am I gonna jump on it with optimism from the very beginning? Probably not. But if I hear good things, I will definitely check it out, because, you know, you can make a good story almost anywhere if there's creativity involved. It's not just a cash grab for Marvel and DC. They might have a good story to tell, and if they do, I'll definitely be there, because I love those universes. But, you know, I'm not just gonna watch anything just because they're a part of it. But we'll see.
I hope it's good, but I don't know. I'm not sold on some of these ABC shows. I don't know. They seem not very artsy, I guess would be the best way of saying it. Just kind of put together to be another thing put into the Marvel universe. So I hope it's good, but I don't know. I have severe doubts.
Yeah, it's like, sorry, go ahead, Andrew.
I'm just gonna say, I mean, why? I mean, okay, let's take Mad Men and let's put it with superheroes, and then let's try to make this a relevant show on ABC. You know, I don't see it. I mean, I think there's a group of people somewhere, and maybe we should try and get in on this, because we would be awesome at it. And it's a group of people that get together, and their only objective, excuse me, can you write a flop show?
Yeah.
Seriously, like Marvel's Agent Carter. Hey, do you guys want to come over to my house for my Marvel's Agent Carter show? No, no one's gonna do that. No one's gonna watch it. There's just gonna be a couple people that live in their mom's basement that sit down there and watch the show, and it's not gonna be me. I refuse to watch one episode.
I'm not sensing a lot of excitement when it comes to this show. I mean, it's just not sensing a good thing for it. I don't think it's gonna really work. I mean, like,
I think I read somewhere that it was only going to basically be like a fall thing. So they're basically making it just like, okay, it's kind of
It's a mini-series.
a history of, I don't know, Shield.
Oh, well, if it's a mini-series and a one-off thing, that might work, and I might check that out. But it's like,
Yeah, well, but here's what ABC will do: is if it's popular, they will try to turn it into something more than a miniseries.
so there's no winning.
Nope.
Like, the thing is, it's like,
it officially says on IMDb TV movie.
interesting. Well,
Okay.
we'll see. Hopefully that's all they have planned for it, and I'll check it out.
Hopefully.
Because, like, when it comes to these shows, it's like the reason I'm like into Arrow and was kind of interested from the beginning, and now I'm like, no, I'm in on that show. It's not like, it's the thing that I'm concerned about Gotham is Jim Gordon is an interesting character. That's like a good part of the Batman movies, but that's not why anyone's there. They're there to see Batman, and it's not going to be as satisfying watching a TV show where they're like, oh, this is leading up to Batman, but it's never going to be here. Oh, this is going to lead, you know, but it's not that's not something you have to do when you watch Arrow. When you watch Arrow, you're watching Green Arrow, and you're watching a Green Arrow TV show, and like, if you like that character, there he is. But it's not like, oh, if you like Batman, well, see what one of his buddies are doing. It's just, I don't know. Hey, but as I said, if there's an interesting story to tell, and I'll be there. We'll see.
Well,
what else you got?
Moving to something else, it's kind of a different style. I don't know how many of you guys saw The Sound of Music live. Now, I'm a big fan of Sound of Music. I thought that the idea and the concept of what NBC was trying to do was great, and I was really excited. It wasn't it wasn't completely executed right, but it kind of like it was popular enough where it got a great it got a pretty good word of mouth and some pretty good ratings. Here's what's on the forecast. We have Fox in 2015 will be doing a live Grease. And then NBC is doing, they've signed Christopher Walken to play Captain Hook and Peter Pan.
Amazing.
And that'll be coming maybe at the end of the year. However, there's talk about them doing a female Peter Pan, which we can maybe talk about that at a different time. Because I know the original Peter Pan play was done by Julia Andrews. But that's for another time and topic. What do you guys think of Grease and Peter Pan as the choices, first off? And secondly, I know we all have different thoughts about musicals and stuff like that, but I love, I love Broadway and I love musicals, and I love the idea of being able to watch it on TV and not spend $65-$70 and have to go to an actual theater. I get the best seat in my house. What do you guys think?
Well, I mean, like, I've coped with this recently, that Sound of Music's probably one of my favorite musicals of all time. It's brilliant and amazing, and I actually I've been meaning to watch that TV special. But Grease and Peter Pan, it sounds like fun. I mean, that's a good like thing for TV to do. We were just talking about how like it's hard to commit to 22 weeks sitting down and watching a show, but maybe, yeah, Andrew, could you imagine like, saying, hey, let's have a Grease party, even if it's like sucks. I mean, at least it's only an hour and a half or whatever. I mean, it's that event programming sounds like that's more like it,
Absolutely. I mean, you saw like Coldplay just did it when their album released. I mean, I think it's smart. I mean, I think people want to see more of this. I mean, Sound of Music is arguably one of the most recognized, has some of the most recognized songs of all time or come from that movie and come from that show. And so to redo it, although you cannot make Bill Compton sing for his life, and you can't, and the only thing Carrie, what's her name?
Underwood.
That's the one. The only thing that she can do is sing, and her acting was pretty rough. And that's another thing that, as far as the translation, you have to almost have like a really talented all-around actors to be able to pull off live TV musicals, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because there are so many close-ups and close shots that it seems, I don't know. I'm excited. I'll definitely watch both of these because they're both awesome.
Yeah, Luke,
well, Christopher Walken has been signed to play Captain Hook.
That's so funny.
It's a matter of, right? I mean, he doesn't have to sing. He just has to make gold. What is it? Is it gold records or gold pants? What is it? What's that Saturday Night Live skit?
Oh, jeez.
Do you guys know what I'm talking about?
Absolutely not.
No.
I just put my pants on the same way everybody else does, but I do it. You remember what I'm talking about?
After I put them on, I make gold records. Platinum record.
Is that the cowbell skit?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
okay, now I know it.
Luke, you're more of kind of like the skeptical sometimes when it comes to the musicals. What do you think of these specials coming to TV?
The one thing that comes to mind is it Music Man? They did way back in the day, I think on ABC Family. That's like one of the first I can remember, like specials like that took like an old story. Of course, for me, like, I think Sound of Music is one of the better movies ever made, probably. But to me, the story just isn't intriguing. Not that I don't know it's not a good story. It's just not my style. So, of course, anything related to Peter Pan, I'm always excited about. So I don't know how excited I am about Christopher Walken playing Hook, but I will certainly give that a try. And I mean, I'll give all these shows a try. I'm a sucker for pretty much anything put to film. But yeah, I mean, Grease, that's even probably less my style, even though it's another one where I know it's a great movie. I hope it does well. So I'm definitely interested in the Peter Pan thing. Sound of Music, if they do it maybe in a certain way, I think I might really jump on board with that. But I don't know. I doubt it's going to be one of my favorite shows, but I sure hope it does well. I hope they make good TV shows because God knows we need to get rid of some of the old crappy shows that have been around and reused ideas. So more power to them, creating something that's not another cop drama.
And they did this sort of thing a lot back in the day. I feel like the 90s had a fair share of this kind of thing with like Roger and Hammerstein's did a Cinderella that came to network, and it was pretty cool. And they did like a lot of stuff like that. And knowing that later on they did like a Wizard of Oz musical, which is cool. So hopefully, I mean, I like that trend. I hope it returns. What you got next?
It's going to air December 4th.
Sweet.
It's when it will air on NBC. And if it's like Sound of Music, it was basically like 8 to 11.
Which one's first?
I mean, what?
Which one comes first?
Peter Pan.
Peter Pan. Okay.
And Grease right now is
they're all on Fox.
Tentative. No, it's on NBC, I believe.
Oh yeah. Okay, I'm looking at an article now. I see it.
Okay, cool.
And so December 4th, and I remember, I think Andrew, were you there when we watched Sound of Music live? I think. I don't know if you were there. I think there was a large group of us that watched that live, and it.
Well,
again,
when you say live, we watched it on DVR.
Well, that's true. That is true. So we watched it like a day later, which. Again, like DVR, I mean, you cut down on those commercials, so it ends up only being a little over 2 hours instead of 3. Anyways, I'm putting those on the calendar to at least watch one-night events. A couple other ones maybe we touch on real quick before. Interesting, Sci-Fi has a couple of. I've never really been interested in the Sci-Fi show, and they released a couple of. Yeah, I know. Released a couple of. They have a couple of new shows starting up. One is called 12 Monkeys, which is basically it's based on the movie. It's just a little bit more. It's like the time travel aspect of it. I'm interested to read more about it. I haven't had much time to read into it. The other one, however, I did is The Expanse, and it is starring Thomas Jane, who is known for
Punisher.
The Punisher. And it's like 200 years into the future, and he's like a cop who I don't know exactly how crazy or whatnot it's going to be, but I think he finds something while investigating, and it kind of changes his mindset, and he ends up going on to this search. So it's very futuristic. It kind of, to me, it had that Firefly feeling when I was like reading about it. So I was like, oh man, I would love to have another like Firefly kind of thing. But who knows? Sci-fi tends to make some stuff that's kind of like cheesy, you might say.
Sharknado 2, man.
So what do you guys think? What do you think about a 12 Monkeys TV show? You know?
I don't need that. I don't know. I mean,
it actually says TV movie. I just looked it up.
Oh, it does?
So similar to the ABC Agent Carter.
So it was probably 10 episodes?
Probably, like, even worse. Like, when Sci-Fi does a TV movie, I mean, it's best to either sit there and laugh your head off at it or run for cover. It's just, yikes. So, I don't know. First 12 Monkeys movie was fine. So, let's see them make a awful sequel. I don't know.
I think certain shows don't translate well to TV, and that's my opinion about that. I don't see how it'll translate well to TV.
Yeah. No, one thing it does have a I guess he's just a director, but a guy who's directed a few Breaking Bad episodes and another show, Suits. So it's got like kind of a well-known director directing I think that's The Expanse though. 12 Monkeys still there's not much detail that I was able to find. These are just sci-fi. I just saw them. I was like, could be interesting.
I have a theory about the Sci-Fi Channel.
Oh, here we go. Yes.
I'm just gonna throw it out there. Have you guys seen Argo?
Mm-hmm. The movie, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All of these movies that come out on Sci-Fi are all that. It's all some government thing that they put all this money into these movies that they're really not spending any money on, and all the money is going to like rescue people somewhere. I don't know.
They're filming Sharknado out in Afghanistan.
Oh,
yeah.
jeez.
They're bringing Tara Reid undercover.
Seriously, because Man, there's just, I mean, think about what was that show called? The Expanse? The Expanse, is that what
Yeah.
it is, Joseph? The
Yeah.
Expanse. Okay, yeah, we're gonna send this guy out in space. Okay, he's probably in the Midwest or the Middle East somewhere. The Midwest. He could be there too. But it's ridiculous. I mean, they get these budgets, but where does the money go? I wonder that sometimes about lots of shows, but especially on sci-fi, because there's budget there. Why don't they do anything with it?
How many people do
Yeah.
you know who watch shows on Sci-Fi?
My aunt.
It's
Yeah.
one. It's one
pretty
more
much
than
it.
me. I don't know anyone.
There's actually some pretty big name actors in this 12 Monkeys sci-fi show.
Oh yeah.
The lead girl was in J. Edgar with
Leo
Leonardo.
DiCaprio.
Yeah, DiCaprio, and the other guy was the lead guy, Ramsey, I guess is his name, is one of the big guys in Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. I
Oh,
won't
yeah.
specify who he is, and spoiler.
He's
Oh no. Oh no.
And the other guy, one of the top three guys was in I don't know how to spell it, Zelko Jako Avanek,
It's a good try.
Russian name.
He's a creepy guy
He was
from
in-
Heroes.
in Argo, Hannibal,
Well, speaking of
Donnie
Argo,
Brasco.
That's what I'm saying.
you guys want to move on to games after this?
yeah.
Yep.
Let's
We can move
some
on to games. I feel like over the next few weeks we'll talk about more television because we kind of can form our list of like, let's cross this off the list of never gonna ever see that, and then these are maybe ones that I'm going to check out or at least give it the old try. Like, did you guys know that there's a new CSI coming out this year?
No.
Yeah,
What is it?
another one. CSI Cyber.
What is
It's
it?
like
What
a
the-
cyber
oh my
crimes
gosh.
CSI
Give
unit.
me a break.
Oh my.
They'll make one out of everything, anything.
They need to go international.
CSI
This is what I'm a-
World.
CSI Bangkok.
This is what I fear. And I mean, we see it happening right now on television, but this is what I fear because CSI season 1. Does anybody remember that show was awesome?
Yes, it was
Yeah.
really good.
Yeah. It
was
was
like the
awesome
beginning of it
until
all.
like Grissom left, basically. I mean, to be honest.
Yeah, but now you have, instead of CSI popping up everywhere, now they're still trying to run it into the ground because they make money. But now you have the same thing happening in the superhero world.
Quite possibly.
Yeah.
I mean, like, Marvel has 2 shows. DC's about to have 3, but it's like CSI. That was like the insurgents of just countless. Like every network had to have 4 crime dramas on their network, and it was just insane. And like one got canceled every single season. Oh, now that one's not the one who didn't make it. Oh, see you later, Varsity Blue or whatever it's called. I don't know. Awful. And I mean, there's people who are into crime dramas, and like, if you're making something quality, good for you. But I don't know. This procedural crime dramas are just. Oh, let's not talk about it anymore.
Used and abused.
Used and abused. Gaming news. We have so
There's
much
not
gaming
much.
news this week.
There
So much gaming news. It's crazy.
probably will be some coming up here pretty soon. I can almost guarantee it.
Your gaming sense is tingling.
Yep. My spider senses are tingling.
Well, how do you feel about fighting games?
I'm not a fan of them. They cause great frustration and anger between players.
They're the only game I like.
I'm a huge fan of fighting games. I love fighting games. I feel like they're usually very fair and competitive, and they don't take very long to play, which is my favorite part. That you can sit down for 30 minutes, 10 minutes, and play a match, feel satisfied, and walk away. Evo is a fighting game tournament which takes place, which gathers all the fighting game fanatics around the world and picks out the best, and they fight in a tournament. They fight in games like Smash Brothers, Tekken, Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, Blaze Blue, all these games, and that was last week. So out of that, we got a few fighting game announcements. Tekken 7's coming out. I mean, like, with Tekken, I like Tekken, but it's like, I don't know. They're saying this is the final one, which I'll believe it. I'll believe it when I see it. It's like Friday the 13th, the final chapter, and then there was like 5 more. So we'll see. More characters got announced for Super Smash Brothers. I'm super excited for for Super Smash Brothers. So a few characters from I'm just rattling these off quickly because we're kind of running out of time. A few characters from the game Fire Emblem were announced, and there's like that like makes 5 characters from that game. So they look like good characters. So I'm all for it. Again, Joseph, you're mad because you get mad when they announce new characters for Smash Brothers, right? Joe's mad.
Yeah, because it's a fun game, but like Nintendo is stupid. I can't take their incompetence. They should sell their rights to other systems.
You're wrong, Joe. They make great games. Like they
make great games. Are you kidding me?
They make bad business decisions, and they make bad hardware decisions. But most of their games, their first party games, are incredible, and they come out with a lot of them right now. I have a really good collection of Wii U games. Like people look at the console and scoff and like spit at it, but it has great games. They're quality to the max, and I want them to succeed because when they do succeed, they'll make great games. I mean, yeah, sure. The Wii was not the best console, even though it was super successful. But I feel like they're really catching their stride in this new era, and they should go for it. I don't think they should be discounted yet. I feel like there's some. I feel like there maybe be some good times ahead for them, like seeing their library coming up with Zelda and Smash Brothers. I feel like this might give them the jump they need to really just show all their good stuff. I mean, I feel like the games that just recently come out, Super Mario World 3D and like Mario Kart. I know there's a million of all of those games out already. I know there's 80 million Marios, but it's different. It's really different. Like it's not like mainly every Mario game that comes out is almost different from the last one. Sure, there was a Galaxy 2, but Galaxy was so original, and so I think they should continue that. Love Nintendo. That's my passion. What?
To each his own.
Yes, and I will eat my own. What?
The only thing I'll say to support Jordan is I'm glad there's a third console at least. I'm glad it's not just the 2 consoles.
Yeah.
I'm glad there's some competition.
Yeah, and it's a good family console, and like for the people who have the money, like this is a good option if you're looking for a second console, if you're looking for an alternative, you're looking for some more casual games. Maybe you're getting
for younger kids too.
Younger kids, absolutely. Like I'm keeping my Wii. I'm not gonna sell it or like trade it in because when I have a kid one day, I'll be like, here you go, kid.
Wow, you're thinking of kids already?
Yeah, man. 20 years from now, my kids are gonna love the Wii. No,
be old.
I'm not gonna be a 46-year-old raising an infant. Real quick, Andrew, I know you're not the biggest gamer, but looking at the 3 consoles right now, say if you had to buy a console right now and you had the money in your hand, what would you go for?
This is a hard question. I can rule one out just based on my terror of it.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the Xbox. Sorry, but anything that watches me all the time while I sit on the couch, you don't want to see what I do when I'm on the couch.
Oh my god.
Oh gosh. Hello. It like announces you. It like recognizes your naked body. Hello, Andrew's naked body.
Why is he naked on the couch?
Maybe you do need it to stop doing those things on the couch.
Well, that freaks me out. So that one's out. PlayStation, I've always kind of been a PlayStation guy, not really because I play PlayStation games, but because it had the Blu-ray player when Xbox didn't, whatever. The only games though that I've really, if I'm buying a system for anything other than just a DVD player, it would probably be a Nintendo system because those games are the easiest for someone as incompetent with games as I am. And I could play Mario Party and have a good time. I could play Super Smash Brothers and get killed by Jordan. I could play, I could do my fitness workouts in the living room in front of my Wii and feel safer than in front of my Xbox. So,
I just have to say, oh jeez.
Guys, I'm having a Smash Brothers party later this week. Just letting you know.
Thanks for the invite, not.
You can't come, Joe. You're not allowed. You'll suck too bad. I'm just kidding. You're in Lakeland. You can't come because you're too far away.
Game Boy Advance.
Game Boy. Good choice.
That's about where actually no, Halo 1, maybe Halo 2 is where my gaming stopped. And then it picks up on and off with FIFA. But any console that has FIFA, if you put it in front of me, I'll probably play it.
FIFA on the Tiger Electric wristwatch. That'll be really bad. All right, guys. That pretty much does it for gaming news. Which gaming news today pretty much consisted of me ranting about Nintendo. A lot of news, guys. A lot of news. We got scoops. We got a lot of scoops.
Hope
Maybe we'll get better.
Tekken 7. All right, we have some questions and comments. You guys ready to answer some questions?
This is a lightning round of answering questions.
Lightning round. Doug asks us, favorite Ryan Gosling movie that has something to do with cars and getaways. Go.
Wow.
like he
Cars
doesn't-
and Getaways, The Notebook.
He had to get away from what did he have to get away from in that movie? He had from her awful mom. She had a really mean mom in that movie.
That's true. There you go. In that stick shift diesel truck.
And he had to get away.
Gangster Squad? Is that what we're talking about?
There was a getaway and there was a car chase.
Yeah, there you go. There you go, Doug. Gangster Squad.
Actually, even better than that, have you guys seen, what's the movie that he was just in where he plays like a really like redneck,
Place Between
criminal?
the Pines. Place Between the Pines, right?
Here you go, Doug. Place Between the Pines, the most ridiculous movie I've seen in the past month.
Oh, wow.
It's pretty outrageous.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love Drive. That's probably it.
Place Beyond the Pines.
Place Beyond the Pines. What did I say? Place Between the Pines?
Something
Beyond,
like that.
Place Under
Close
the Pines.
enough.
It's a very different movie, Jordan.
Oh my gosh. And he also asks, have you all seen True Detective? If so, what did you think? To me, probably one of the best shows I've ever seen. Whoa, big words.
Those are fighting words.
Have any of you guys seen True Detective?
No, it's on the list.
Yes.
It is on the list.
I've seen the first episode. It's very good. I mean, right now I'm really impressed with HBO. Their stuff is really cinematic. That's one thing that's really great. It's Game of Thrones is just incredible. It's like a lot of times when I watch an episode, there's always a point in that show where I look around and I'm like, man, I'm watching a television show. This is movie quality. And True Detective is, wow, killer with that. I mean, I'm not far into it, but I'll keep watching.
If a show's good enough, we should probably cancel it. You know?
Absolutely.
It's not canceled.
No.
It's just that there are 2 new detectives next season.
I wonder if it's gonna be like a dip in quality, or if it's like, is it gonna be like a grab bag? Like,
Yeah,
people aren't gonna know what they're gonna get next season.
exactly.
I heard that it was Colin Farrell was one of the leading candidates.
Yeah, you've got Colin Farrell opposite of Will Ferrell and Eddie Murphy.
What? I hope that would be in keeping with the show's extremely depressing, and like it's really bleak. But so far, I'll keep watching on quality alone. It's definitely quality, and if I get too sucked into Bummer Town, I'll stop.
They've got the money to make these big shows. It's incredible.
Dang, yeah. I mean, they're competing with Netflix. They have some money, dude. It costs so much to have HBO subscription.
They get a lot of good actors for a lot of their shows.
Yeah, man. The acting's crazy. I mean, Matthew McConaughey, Woody Harrelson, that's a pretty good team of actors. He also says that our voices are soothing. We sound like NPR, apparently.
So all 3 of these are from Doug.
Yeah, he went on a rant.
Thank you, Doug.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you for
Doug.
your question. We also have a question from an anonymous listener. And the question is, what are y'all's superhero powers regarding movies, TV, and games? A couple weeks ago, we talked about how Doug has a superpower to recall the release date of movies. I'm pretty sure that's what the writer's going for in this. Do any of you guys have any superpowers of that sort?
I think the best way to define this would be our specialties. and I'll just rattle off quickly. I believe Joe's specialty would be the numbers.
Oh yeah.
The money, the numbers, the attendance of these movies, and I think he does a pretty good job of estimating how movies did 5-10 years ago. And I would say Jordan is our special. He specializes in Nintendo. and
I'm actually Mario. That's my superpower.
And Disney. I would say those are two of Jordan's specialties.
So I'm a 10 years old. Is what you're saying.
But
you go.
You do that well, Jordan.
Thank you.
And I think I specialize in all things first-person shooters.
All right.
And more grown-up video games.
Listen, I being the fact that I saw this question, I had some time to think about it. And there is it's not necessarily a superpower that I have, but I have this ability, kind of like the Incredible Hulk, which I change when February, March rolls around and it starts to turn into Academy Award season. I turn into something I'd like to call the super snob. And all throughout the rest of the year, I'm like, oh yeah, totally. Let's go to the movies and see I, Frankenstein. But come February and March, I stick my nose up at those movies. And I'm like, yes. Well, the Academy Award nominated movies are this, so these are the movies I'm going to watch. And I pretend that I'm really, like, a film critic, and, like, that I'm super, like, I don't know. I transform into the super snob, but then I transform back into regular Jordan. And then,
It's like your red kryptonite.
yeah, exactly. I turn into a movie douche. But, yeah, our last question.
On a good note,
Yeah?
I think if I recall, with my memory, January and February of 2015 looked pretty crappy. So
There
you
always
won't
are.
really have anything taking you away from getting your
It's a good week. It's
Academy.
It's a good couple months to be like that. I mean, because actually, I, Frankenstein came out on February, of course.
Yeah.
So, watch out.
I think it
Jupiter
was
Ascending.
January, wasn't it?
I don't know. Either way, Jupiter Ascending. It's gonna get my nose stuck up at it. So, because I'll
Yep.
be in super snob mode. Last question. A very extremely thoughtful, well put together question. Just so much. Peter asks, Pacific Rim or Pacific Rim?
Can we have can I get a spelling or like a definition maybe of that?
The movie or the place?
Can you use the words in a sentence?
Let's throw this over to Andrew real quick, because I think we've all kind of voiced our opinion. Andrew, what do you think of Pacific Rim?
Pacific Rim is a great place to vacation. Also, if you're thinking about a destination honeymoon, this could be a good spot. As far as the movie, which could be the Or Pacific Rim, I have not seen it. Therefore, I have zero opinion. But based on the trailer and my love of the main actor, I would say that I would love it. But I haven't seen it. I only know about the. This is a really interesting question.
Yeah, I mean, it's just. It's a big question. I mean, so you're gonna go ahead and just because you haven't seen the movie, you're gonna go ahead and choose the destination, right? You're gonna choose.
I'm gonna
to
go.
Pacific Rim.
I'm gonna go to the Pacific Rim rather than watch the Pacific Rim because, actually, no, I lied. It'll probably be one of those movies that comes on Netflix eventually, and I'll be, oh wow, it's about 12:30 in the morning, or if you consider that night, and I'll probably pop it on and fall asleep 15 minutes through and say that I've seen it when I've never seen it. It's one of those movies, I think, for me.
Luke, Pacific Rim or Pacific Rim?
I don't know if you want me to go back over it, but I think it was a pretty good movie. I think it was hyped too much by Jordan and Peter, and there it is.
Me.
Sorry, Peter.
So you're choosing the destination Pacific Rim.
I'm on my way.
All right, see you, Luke. Joe, Pacific Rim or Pacific Rim? Okay. All right. So
I've never been to the Pacific Rim, so I probably would like to visit the Pacific Rim.
it's in the middle of the ocean, isn't it?
Yeah, it's pretty cool though. Tropical.
I choose the movie Pacific Rim. So if you want to follow us on Twitter, you can go to @MTG
One more piece of box office news, since my superpower is numbers.
All right. Hit us.
Fox became the first to reach $1 billion collectively this year, thanks to X-Men: Days of Future Past, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, mostly, and How to Train Your Dragon 2. The Other Woman and Rio have also chipped in to help them reach $1 billion domestically.
How to Train Your Dragon 2 is DreamWorks.
Yeah, but it's owned by Fox, supposedly.
Oh, how about that?
Yeah.
Congratulations,
another
Fox.
little bit. Anybody wants to play a game? What is the number one worldwide grossing movie of 2014? Go.
Oh my gosh. 2014.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, jeez.
That's the year we're in right now, Jordan.
Which movies were released in China?
Oh my gosh. I'm not telling you. Go. You have
Transformers.
5 seconds.
I chose
Okay, Luke goes
Transformers,
Transformers.
Andrew.
So what about you, Andrew?
I'm gonna go ahead and go with Neighbors.
Oh my-
Perceptive.
Tammy. It's gonna be Tammy. I know it.
Yes, the answer is Transformers.
Yay!
It
We
has
win
reached-
and also lose because that crappy movie is the number one movie. In the
Yeah,
world.
it passed this past weekend. It passed X-Men. It's almost at $800 million.
Sweet angels.
Yes. It's made almost $500 million in China. No,
All right.
sorry,
Wow.
$300 million in China.
Yay! We get 4 more Transformers movies where they.
Yep,
continue
actually,
in
I
this
would say
direction.
probably more than that. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, whatever.
Anyways, there's the numbers. Ding, 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 ding.
You can find us on Twitter at MTG Pod and on Facebook.com/MTG Podcast and email us at mtgpod@gmail.com.
And also, thanks to all the people who commented and asked questions. Please continue to do that.
Yeah, they're fun.
And we promise to not maybe answer your questions so late in the podcast
Well, I mean,
in the future.
that makes sense because we answer that means they have to listen to their entire podcast before they hear their questions read. So it's a trick. Gotcha.
Wow.
They get to.
They
don't
get
have
to.
to. They get to listen to
That's
us.
right. And then they
And
get to be refreshed on how to ask the question again. Like that. What I just did. What, Joe?
And a big thank you to Andrew for taking the time to share with us.
Hey, you ready for the Now You See Me twist of the show?
Yeah?
Andrew is Joseph's brother.
Didn't see that one coming.
Yeah, with no frame of reference, that would be funny. But I thought you were about to say Andrew is a ghost.
Andrew is a marionette
Andrew's
puppet
not
controlled
here.
by me.
Now you see him? Now
you don't. You're-
Andrew's a voice Jordan's been doing this entire time.
That would be incredible. Thank
Alright.
each one of you beautiful people for having me on. And hopefully someday down the road, I will come back to yell at you more.
Absolutely, you will, buddy. All right, yeah, check us out. We're going to be doing a spoiler cast on Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. So check that out. See you later, guys.
See ya.